Hello.
Hi.
All right, so today we're here with Josephine, and she was in a program in school called the Gifted and Talented program, and usually children are put in there at a pretty young age, and it is usually for their benefit, or so they say, but in a lot of cases that doesn't seem to be the sentiment that people share. So first I want to ask you, when were you put into one of these programs, and did you opt for it, or did they, how was it done?
I moved here in fourth grade from Koshin, Turkey. And as soon as I got here, my mom told me that I was going to be taking a test before I went into fourth grade. And without thinking about it, I was like, okay, because in Turkey we have entrance exams to get into any level of school. My mom told me I had no choice to take this exam. I was a bit confused because I was told that American schools were super easy. And so I was like, I don't understand why there's going to be an exam to get into fourth grade. But I didn't fight back against it, so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then I took an exam. It was a lot harder than I was expecting it to be, but I didn't want to feel like a failure, so I tried my best. And I did pretty good on it, I'm pretty sure, from what I remember at least.
Nice. And I mean, how did that feel for you? Did you feel like a sense of accomplishment there, or?
I felt my ego swell up really large, and I had, unfortunately, that feeling of I'm better than everyone else. Mm-hmm. And that definitely played a part in my attitude towards other people at that age.
Did you ever notice that there was a similar sort of attitude that those students had to you, in that sense that, you're like, well, I'm doing all this extra stuff and I'm achieving higher, so I am better?
Yes, I did. It definitely led to very, cold attitudes towards each other, because it was in a constant competitive state. Because in my school, Sugar Land, Texas, we had a ranking system within the Gifted and Talented. So we had the top student and the lowest student, and you would constantly be moved around based on your scores with all the homeworks and quizzes and tests.
And did that affect your relationship too with kids outside of the Gifted program, or?
I was jealous, because after a while I was like, I'm not having fun here.
Right.
And I wanted to be a happy fourth grade child, because at that age I'm a child still. And I just wanted to have fun and enjoy my time, because I had a friend who wasn't in the Gifted and Talented program, and she got to go home and watch cartoons, and I had to go home and do copious amounts of work after school.
Do you feel as if that, doing what you did it really, open up doors and give you a bunch of new opportunities, or was it more of oh, I just know all these things a little bit better than everyone else?
Short answer, no. From what I've learned, the Gifted and Talented program is just same course, same material, same TEKS, but just a lot more busy work. I mean, it helped me memorize them a lot better, because with my study habits now, I will continuously do that subject until it is ingrained in my brain, perfectly.
And now I want to ask you about your teachers too. So they are different maybe, right, than the standard classes?
Yes.
Or do they? Okay.
We had our Gifted and Talented teachers were separate classrooms entirely. I had a whole different schedule in the day than the other students. So we had different lunches at that point, because we were in school for longer and our classes were longer. And then we didn't have recess, and we only had a 25-minute lunch instead of a 45-minute lunch, because we were in classes the whole time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but my teachers, I had some really bad ones. Miss Artiaga, I will never forgive her. My math teacher for Gifted and Talented, worst person ever. But I did have my history Gifted and Talented teacher, Mr. Lasasso. I remember him telling me that I was special, and that definitely boosted my ego a lot more than it should have in that scenario. But he was a teacher that really tried to tell us that we weren't in that competitive a situation, because we are in elementary school. And the way it was structured, it was first grade through 7th grade, and then middle school was 8th and 9th, and then I had 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. It was a weird structure for my growing up, but that's how it worked where I was.
And so how long, so you did it all the way through, right?
I was in Gifted and Talented all the way up until I graduated high school, from 4th grade to 12th grade.
And they're still doing this?
Yes,
Yeah.
they are still doing this. There's 2 different ones now. I got put into, because I got diagnosed with ADHD in 10th grade, which I didn't know affected how I learned until I got diagnosed with it, and they didn't want to kick me out of Gifted and Talented just because of that learning disability, because at that point it was deemed wrong. And so they put me with regular students, but they gave me more coursework because they wanted me to learn slower paced because it was more helpful towards me, but they also wanted me to stay in Gifted and Talented because if they removed me from Gifted and Talented, that would have been a whole situation in and of itself.
If you were to go through elementary, middle, and high school again, what would you have wanted your school to have done differently for you?
I would have not wanted to be in the Gifted and Talented because I learned that I never was taught anything different than any of the other kids, and I stressed myself out way too much at that age that I have developed necessarily unhealthy studying methods, and I put a level of stress on myself wanting to be good. Even now in college, that effect of Gifted and Talented that had on me in 4th grade is still affecting me now.
Wow, that is a lot to unpack. Thank you so much for meeting with me today, and good luck on the rest of your journey.
Thank you so much. I'll need it.
Thank you.